Awakening with Brahmakumaris. Namaskar, Om Shanti. Welcome to Awakening with Brahmakumaris. Namaskar.
Om Shanti.
Sister, it's very strange. We've been speaking about so many things like love, peace, stability, and I have been receiving emails and mails and some nice small write-ups from Brahmakumaris, and it is as if somebody is watching our programs and sending us. There's so much of connection in this universe, I tell you. They have written something about love, which we were speaking about, and they say, or she says, who has written this, perhaps the most difficult original quality to achieve because it has become so mixed up with attachment. We have somewhere complicated it with the attachment. Attachment, possessiveness, and dependence, deeply ingrained habits that have become, like normal or accepted. The quality of love means I care, I share, and in particular, I liberate.
Liberate also means accept them as they are. Otherwise, people from whom we have expectations, they're always under a pressure. It's always there on their mind, what I'm doing, how I'm behaving, will they be happy? So they cannot be their natural self. They're always trying to please us, reach up to our expectations. So liberate them means you're still with them, but you're not putting the pressure of your expectations on them. So you're allowing them to be just themselves.
And not crushing other person's personality. And making that person confused. And finally that person says, what do you want me to be? This, one day you say this, one day you say this, I want to do this, mother says this, father-in-law says this, the whole world says this, what do I do?
Yeah, so then they can't be themselves. They're always trying to be what you want them to be. And that is bondage. So we are thinking that if they do what we think is right, then they respect us. So then that is bondage. And respect would mean actually accepting them as they are. And if they can be natural, if a child can be natural in front of the parent, doesn't have to fear, and just can be himself, then he genuinely respects the parent.
Like a 1-year-old baby.
Just
2 years
himself.
old.
Yeah. But as we grow up, we are trying to be what they want us to be. And then my originality gets suffocated. And if I don't be what they want me to be, then they get hurt. So that's another pressure. First, go on trying to live up to their expectations. And suppose you're not able to reach till there, then they get hurt. Then they will withdraw. And then they will punish in, ways like, okay, I'm not talking to you, or I'm very upset.
Very mean. Very mean.
This is liberation. Sometimes people think, spirituality means then no one cares for each other, everyone can do what they want, everybody. So then they're very detached in a negative sense. The word of detachment means then you don't care for anyone. It's very positive feeling where I can be what I want to be, and your state of being doesn't have an influence on me, so it allows you to be.
Actually, detachment, people get so much confused by detachment. They think, okay, so he'll be detached and he will not love me anymore. I have to be detached from my old beliefs. I have to be detached from my anger.
It will be a better relationship. But there are we meet so many people who would say, I want to learn meditation, I want to come to the center, but my family doesn't allow me. Because the family is very apprehensive. If they go there, then they will become very detached. So the family will not allow them to come to the center and learn meditation.
Detachment, sister, I think, whatever few episodes I've done with me, detachment does not mean running away. Detachment is, when you're detached, you have pure love.
Yes, and detachment actually means being there all the more. Because you don't have your own agenda. See, if anything is happening around me, you're behaving in a slightly different way. If I'm not getting affected, I can be there with you mentally. Physically, we're there with each other, but mentally, we are with our own hurt. But if I'm stable, I can be there for others. So detachment is actually means being there all the more.
Oh, nice. Let me complete this, please. True spiritual love never creates that need or dependence where others cannot find or be themselves.
Yes, it's very beautiful, but to be able to understand it in the right perspective. First, I have to become independent. And independent means my state of being is not dependent on others. And then I also have to take care that no one else's state of being is dependent on me. Today, people being dependent on me actually gives people the feeling of power. It does. It tends to fill up the vacuum which is there inside. They are dependent on me. They are happy only when they meet me. They get upset if I don't call them up. This is a subtle way of control.
But there are people who love to be dependent, no? Then they'll never grow.
They love to be dependent because they haven't learned the art of being independent. They think this is love. Again, love and dependence is put together. I'm so dependent on you. You should see two people saying to each other, you're in pain, I can feel your pain. And they'll say, this is love. I can absolutely feel what you're going through. I can say, I can understand what you're going through. But if I start feeling what you're going through, then I can do nothing for you, because then you're in pain, I'm feeling the same pain, so I'm in pain. I can understand that you are in pain.
It's just like somebody's dreaming, and he dreams that his father, for example, has died, and she's crying, and I'm a part of the dream and tell her, no, he's alive, and she says, can't you see the dead body here? If I'm also in her dream,
absolutely,
then I cannot wake her up. I have to be outside the dream. I see her sleeping and dreaming. I wake her up and say, get up, you were dreaming.
That is awakening.
Yes.
That as we wake up, we can help others to wake up too. Love is dependence, love is attachment, is because we're all sleeping. This is the sleep of ignorance. We're all sleeping, and now we're trying to wake up. But when we wake up, we should take care that once the process of awakening has started, let it be, continue. The speed can vary. Each one decides at what speed they want to wake up. But it shouldn't happen, I wake up and then I see everyone around me sleeping, and then I said, okay, let me sleep 10 minutes more. And this is what happens. I understand anger is not my nature, so I'm waking up. And then I go out into the world and I see everybody using that weapon, and I say, everyone's using anger. How is it possible to be without it? And I go to sleep again. So wake up. Even if people around us are not using the same belief system, let me wake up. My waking up
will wake up others too.
Yes, I don't have to wake them up. That's again a clarity. Let me not go around telling other people to wake up.
They'll watch, they'll look at the difference in you, they'll watch you, they'll be inspired.
It's like at home in the morning. If one person wakes up, doesn't need to wake up everyone else, but his waking up makes noise. And that noise will disturb the sleep of the others and they will wake up. So when one person wakes up in the house, one person wakes up in the office and starts living his life differently, starts being different in every situation, that's going to get others thinking. That will wake them up. I cannot ask someone to wake up. They won't like me. They'll say, I'm sleeping, you also go to sleep. Because every being, you know why everyone will wake up? Because originally everyone has the same quality. No one is an angry soul. Each one is a peaceful soul. Each one. It's just that we've caught on to that addiction with each other. Everyone's using anger. Everyone's using anger. So anger is the way. So it's in the air. And then when one person starts using it differently, And because the others, each one around, is originally a peaceful soul, it's very fast to catch it. But one person has to do it, just one. So we all take the responsibility. Each one of us today needs to take up the responsibility. I will be that one. And wake up.
So everybody wakes up turn by turn.
Absolutely. One person changes, just that one person will create a difference in the house. And then gradually others will. And even if, even if others don't do anything, just one person changes can change the house.
I agree with you. Yesterday I had one more thing. I'm very proud of it also.
Sure.
I had an old belief, about 30 years old belief, that if it is very, very cold, it's must be about 12, 13 degrees now.
Yesterday? No,
in the
lesser
night.
than that. Lesser than that.
10, 8, 9. I had an old belief that if it is cold, you have to have either brandy or some kind of a Scotch whiskey or something, and eat a lot of non-vegetarian food to keep you warm, and you cannot sleep hungry. So I had just a cup of milk last night, and I just saw that I slept better. I woke up fresh. I did not feel hungry in the night. I did not feel the necessity of an alcohol or a non-vegetarian food, and I did not feel cold. And I woke up at 3:45 in the morning, went for the meditation in ORC, and I came back. I didn't go to sleep. I went 6:15 again back after a bath for the Murli. And I'm feeling fresh.
Perfect.
And I'm feeling better.
This is experiment. Experiment, experience becomes the truth.
Old belief.
Finished. Have you ever seen in a circus, there are these huge elephants standing in the circus, but the one leg is tied to a rope, that's all. That's all. That's how they stand in the circus, and they're standing there for years. No one ever thought, how come such a huge elephant, just one rope with one leg? The reason? They got into the circus when they're baby elephants, and they're tied like that. And at that time, they really try to break free. They try, but at that size, they're not able to break free. After that, they stop trying because the belief system is that this doesn't break. And when they're so huge, they just have to move once and it will break. They don't try. Same with us. Old belief systems got from here, there, from everyone, heard, put inside. We're not even trying to break the rope.
But is this also called your comfort zone?
Yeah, we've created, but who creates the comfort zone? Who creates the comfort zone? That's the question mark. I created my comfort zone. So I have the power to expand it how much ever I want, because the expansion is here. The comfort zone is not outside. My comfort zone is inside. And that's unlimited. So I just need to go on expanding it. There is not a single belief system which cannot be challenged. Anything that I've heard from anywhere, I can challenge it. Challenge it, and try it. It will work.
I just showed you my 30 years old experience.
Yes, it's the mind over the body. If the mind creates a thought, I will feel hungry in the middle of the night, the body will say, wake up. But if the mind creates the thought, I'm absolutely fine. I'm going to wake up directly at 4 now. Just go to sleep.
2 cups of milk, sister, yesterday.
So,
The happiest man on earth.
Yeah.
And I slept so light and my sleep was good. I woke up exactly on time. I woke up fresh without any hangover.
and all this was happening for pleasure, no the hangover. See, we never think what we're doing. Why are we consuming all the substances? It's only for pleasure.
And that extra food which would have been not digested in my stomach, that non-vegetarian within me and that toxin.
In Hindi, there's a very beautiful sentence which says, Jaisa ann, vaisa man. As the food, so will be the mind. If you want to have a pure mind, a very high energy state of being, then the food will also have to be very high energy food.
Naturally,
Very high
because
vibrations.
if you have a glass of beer, you feel sleepy or drowsy, and if you have too much of lassi, buttermilk, then you feel a little sleepy, and if you eat too much of oily stuff or biryanis kind of a thing, you feel dull. it does matter, but
that
beyond
is another that is another thing.
This is only physical.
Yeah, if you're heavy food, if it's very fattening food, that's a different thing. But if it's negative energy food.
Oh, the tamas and the rajo and the sattvic food.
Of course, we've been hearing a lot about non-veg not being very healthy for the body, but at the Brahmakumaris we understand it's not healthy for the mind. It's not healthy for the body, yes, but not healthy also for the mind, because the vibrations that are there with that food, it's the vibrations of someone who approached death, was slaughtered, was trapped, kept in captivity, and then knew he was going to be killed.
Intuition is there, no?
No, you can see it. You know what's happening. And
yeah, they see the fellow animals to be being killed in front of them.
And what about the last scene when he's going to be killed, that animal? He knows he's going to be killed that time.
The fear.
Yes, the fear.
The
pain, the hatred, the anxiety. Those are thoughts. Thoughts will affect hormones. Those hormones are in the body. You kill the animal. Those are the last hormones in that body, in that flesh. And then now eat it. So you're not consuming just the flesh, but you're also consuming those vibrations which were created in the last stage, just before the animal was killed.
Unhappy energy, the hate energy, energy full of hate,
anxiety.
Fear, pain. And I don't know if the animal forgives you or not.
It's not about, see, again, we don't even have to think of it on a philosophical level, just think of it on a scientific level. Let's put ourselves there. I am going to be slaughtered. I'm there, tied in chains, kept there in captivity for so many days, and I'm going to be slaughtered. So what's the thought going on? That's the thought going on in that animal. And then last minute I can see, okay, I'm going to be killed like this. What's the thought? What's the energy? What's the vibration? What are the hormones? And then we consume that in the name of pleasure.
At least a man who's going to be hanged, he has done some, he calls it punishment. But why is an animal being punished, hanged or killed to death?
If I really want to experience happiness, I cannot put these negative vibrations into myself. There's anyways enough everywhere around. But this is something that's going into me directly. So we really, really need to take care of this. That if I want pure mind, I will have to consume pure food. It has a very, very deep effect, very deep. Even if we take care of this little thing, it helps.
You know something, you remind me of my childhood when my mother used to say that today is your exam beta, eat this little khichdi and little this much and little of ghee, don't eat too much because I want your mind to be fresh. Because then your paper, you'll do it well.
High energy food. And at the Brahmakumaris, we understand it even one step further, that vegetarian is sattvic, yes, but just vegetarian is not enough. The state of the mind while cooking that food.
The state of the mind while cooking, the state of the mind while eating.
While eating.
And while serving.
Yes, everything matters. But very important state of the mind while cooking the food, first step.
I think 99.9% of people either are on telephones or talking or signing checks while eating, or most of them are watching television.
Or if they're having
or arguments, yes, or fighting over something.
Yes, so let's take care of these two steps. When I cook the food and when I eat my food. 10 minutes, it is all that it takes to have a meal. Doesn't take more than that. That state of mind while consuming the food will decide what kind of energy I'm going to be creating after that. Normally people will say meal time is the time when everyone sits together because we hardly meet during the whole day then. But then if we are sitting together, let the conversation only be pleasant, beautiful.
Or play good music.
Yeah, it shouldn't be discussing the problems of the house. It shouldn't be discussing all the challenges anyone in the family member is facing. And it definitely shouldn't be having any difference of opinion and argument on the dining table. Definitely not. It's better not to eat. It's better to finish what you want to discuss and then get back to eating. Or finish eating and then discuss. Let's not do both the things together. And television, definitely not. Because again, what am I creating internally while I'm eating? Either violence or somebody in pain, somebody crying, cheating each other. Those are the emotions that are getting created. And while cooking the food.
So what you eat, where you eat, how you eat.
The money, the way you earn your money with which you eat.
Okay, so then in Hindi, we can also add Jaisa dhan, Vaisa an.
Vaisa man.
Jaisa an, Vaisa man. Dhan, an,
See, it's
man.
very simple. If I've cheated you and earned money, I cheated you and I earned money. So that money that I'm getting home also carries your vibrations of pain, yours and your family's, because I cheated you. Now I use that money to buy food for my family. Wouldn't be very healthy. So these are very, very small things actually, but they go a long way in helping me here to become very stable and contented. And the lady of the house who's cooking the food, very careful. If you're upset about something, if you're angry with somebody, if there's something else on your mind, please don't cook. Please don't cook. It's better not to eat that day.
Tell us the story of about that lady who was looking for a house.
There was this brother who used to come to the center, and it was about 75 years, just an old couple staying together, and a lady who used to cook for them. And he'd been coming to the center for years. And then one day he said, was very well-to-do financially. And then one day he came and said, for the last 1 week I've been dreaming that I'm moving around in the slum area looking for a room for myself. And I'm not even getting that. So he was very, very apprehensive. Matlab, he was literally sweating when he was telling us this. He says, this is my future. I'm dreaming it. Something is going to happen to me. What is the meaning of my dreams? And all that confusion. Even we didn't know what he was dreaming and we couldn't understand. So we just said, it must be something of the past. Forget it, it's over. No, I see myself like this now, there, looking for a room. Something's going to happen terrible to me. And this went on for about 10-15 days. And after that, the lady in the house who used to cook for them, she asked him, she wanted to borrow money because she was looking for a house. And without thinking, he just gave her the money so that she can buy the house for herself. And once she got the house, the dream stopped. So then he came and told us this. Is there any connection? She bought the house and my dreams have stopped. I said, was she in too much of, worry and anxiety because of that? He said she couldn't sleep properly. She said it was such a problem for her. She had little children. She had no house. I said, so while cooking, it's always your problems on your mind. Cooking is one thing which doesn't require too much of the mind and the intellect. It's quite a physical work. So normally we're thinking of all our problems. If I'm working on the computer, I forget my problems. I'm totally engrossed in that. But cooking, all the problems are on the mind. In this case, it was so severe. She must be obsessed with her problem. She can't think of anything else. Direct vibration to the food, and the food to those who consume the food, and their vibrations. Now in this case, this came out very beautifully, and I understood something which I had been following for 15 years. But I understood it that day. I said, such deep impact of the food on the mind. But this comes out in a very constructive way. Okay, she had this problem and I got the same thoughts. But it might not be always very constructive. But if I'm angry while I'm cooking, then vibrations of anger are consumed by those who are eating. If I'm upset, vibrations are consumed by those who are eating. So please be very careful, those who cook at home.
Thank you so much, sister. And till today we were speaking about food of our mind, our thoughts. It's good you taught us about food, how it matters, even for physically. So we've got to be very careful where we eat, how we eat, when we eat.
What we eat.
And where it comes, what are we watching, what are we talking while eating, and what kind of money we are earning. So can we have a meditation on love and liberation and...
Let's just sit back, relax, and look at the screen of our mind. Let's bring one person on the screen of my mind whom I feel I love them. Just one name. Let's bring them on the screen of our mind. And now let's look at us the entire day with them. The quality of our relationship with them. Am I able to accept them as they are? Every act, every behavior, every word. How does it influence me? Do I respect them for what they are? Or am I trying to change them? Carefully check. Am I trying to control them? Is my state of being dependent on their behavior? Today, I remind myself again, I do not possess them. I'm not dependent on them, but I love them. I accept them as they are. When I'm with them, I can be who I am. I can just be myself. And I let them be who they are. I liberate myself and I liberate them. This is true love. Unconditional, selfless, benevolent. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.